If you build with our AG, this matters because bigger context windows have not really solved retrieval. They often raise latency, push up cost, and still miss the key passage when a question requires several search steps. Chroma's pitch with Context-1 is simple: stop using a general model to do everything at once. Use a smaller, specialized model as a search subagent. Then hand the best evidence to a stronger answer model. That is the core change here. It shifts retrieval logic from hand-boiled orchestration into the model's own search behavior. The reason to care now is practical. If this works as described, teams can reduce the amount of prompt stuffing, keep context tighter, and get better results on multi-hop tasks without paying frontier model prices for every retrieval step. Context-1 is a 20B parameter agent IC search model from Chroma, derived from GPT-20B with fine-tuning and reinforcement learning through a staged curriculum called CISPO. The important point is not just model size, it is role design. Context-1 is trained to be a scout, not the final answer machine, for a complex query. It breaks the task into subqueries, makes tool calls, and iterates through a corpus instead of taking one retrieval pass and hoping for the best. The article says it works inside an agent harness with tools like Search Corpus for hybrid BM25 plus dense search, Grep Corpus for regex style lookup, and Red Document for deeper inspection. Chroma reports an average of 2.56 tool calls per turn. That tells you this is meant to run a search process, not just rank chunks once and stop. The most interesting claim is self-editing context. In long retrieval chains, the context window fills with passages that look useful at first but later become noise. General models tend to carry that baggage forward. Chroma says Context-1 can review its own accumulated context during search and cull prune chunks to remove irrelevant material, with a reported pruning accuracy of 0.94. That matters more than the Rother Ito cake on text size. The argument is that context quality, not just context length, determines whether multi-hop retrieval stays on track. This is a direct answer to what the article calls context-trodden lost in the middle failures. If the pruning works in real deployments, it gives a smaller model room to keep exploring deeper chains instead of wasting tokens on stale evidence. That is a sharp architectural idea, and it is more specific than the usual bigger window marketing. Chroma also open-sourced the Context-1 date Agentic pipeline. And that is important because multi-hop retrieval is easy to overstate and hard to test well. The generator creates synthetic tasks across 4 domains: web, SEC filings, patents, and email corporate, including and run on the Epstein files. The reported pattern is explore, verify, distract, then index. In plain terms, the system builds tasks where the answer requires connecting clues across documents, then adds topical distractors that look relevant but should not help. That is meant to stop models from wading through shallow keyword overlap or benchmark leakage. This does not guarantee a perfect benchmark, but it is a better testing story than static sets alone. For Signal Silicon viewers, that is a key point. The benchmark design itself is part of the product thesis. Chroma is not only shipping a model, it is also shipping the measurement frame around it. The signal is clear. Chroma is pushing a tiered RAG architecture where retrieval is decoupled from generation, and the retrieval model actively manages its own context. The article reports strong efficiency claims to up to 10x faster inference and roughly 25x lower cost than frontier models on retrieval tasks. plus competitive benchmark results against systems like GPT 5.2, GPT 5.4, Sonnet for 0.5, and Opus for 0.6. It also says a 4x parallel Context-1 setup can match a single GPT 5.4 run through reciprocal rank fusion. That is notable, but this is where caution belongs. These are vendor-reported results, tied to specific benchmarks and retrieval-focused tasks. It does not mean a 20B model broadly replaces top general models. The cleaner takeaway is narrower and more useful when hop count rises. Specialized search may beat brute force context stuffing. And that is a design shift worth watching.